Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cardinal First Conversations, Family and Parent Virtual Workshops for our current family and parents of first-generation college students. My name is Julie Carballo. I am the Director of First Generation Programs, and we are happy to be here with you this evening. Our topic this evening is all about academic advising. But before we get into that, I wanted to share that 40% of students at North Central College are first gen and more than 125 faculty and staff members. It is definitely a point of pride on our campus. There will be 10 total events in this series. Tonight is the fourth event. They are on Wednesdays, select Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And family members who attend at least 5 of them or listen to 5 of the recordings and take a brief quiz will earn a Cardinal First Family t-shirt. At the next event, which will be the 5th event in the series, we'll explain how the quizzes will work and they will be available at that time. A recording of this event will be available on the Cardinal First Facebook page right here. And then about 1 week later, a recording with Spanish and English captions will be available on the North Central College Cardinal First website. At this time, I would like to invite Jacqueline Taylor, our graduate assistant, to offer this welcome in Spanish.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Jacqueline Taylor, soy la asistente graduada de Cardinal First. En North Central College, 40% de nuestros estudiantes y más de 125 facultades y trabajadores son de primera generación. En este evento es el cuarto de una serie de 10 eventos de Facebook Live que se llevan a cabo en miércoles seleccionados a las 7 p.m. terminando en los últimos días de mayo. Las grabaciones de estos eventos con subtítulos en español estarán disponibles dentro de los 7 a 10 días después del evento en la página web de North Central Cardinal First. Los miembros de la familia que participan o vean 5 de los 10 eventos y completen una breve encuesta ganarán una camiseta de Cardinal First. Si tienen alguna pregunta, puede comunicarse conmigo por correo electrónico a jtaylor@noctrl.edu o por teléfono, y mi número es 630-637-5136. Gracias.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I would also like to thank the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations for a generous grant they have provided to North Central College this year to fund 5 first-gen initiatives, including this series of workshops. And I will now turn it over to Devin Allen, our host for this evening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Devin Allen, and I am the Graduate Assistant for First Generation Programs, and as well as a first-gen student who participated in Cardinal First. Tonight's topic is all about academic advising. You'll be meeting 2 academic advisors, a staff member from the Center for Student Success, and 3 first-gen students who will share how they've effectively partnered with their academic advisor. Family members, if you have questions during tonight's event, you may enter them in the comments section or private message Cardinal First or email cardinalfirst@noctrl.edu, and we will address as many as we can during the final part of this event. I will now invite the 3 staff members on the call to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Alice DeShane, and I'm a senior academic advisor. I also am first gen, and I am an alum of North Central College. I graduated with a master's in 2010. I've been with the college working here for 6 years.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Zobak. I'm the Associate Director for Academic Advising. I graduated from North Central College as well with my undergraduate degree in 2010, and I've also been working at the college for 6 years.
Hello, my name is Clarissa LaFleur. I'm the testing coordinator in student support academic services. I'm first gen and I started working at North Central 4 months ago.
Thank you so much. And now I will invite our 3 first-gen students on the call to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Josiah Vargas. I am a senior and I am from Addison. I am a double major in marketing and management.
Hi, I'm Carly Casper. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Batavia, Illinois, and I'm majoring in biology and environmental studies.
Hi, I'm Vail Cordell. I'm a junior from Winnebago, Illinois, and I'm majoring in accounting.
Thank you so much. And now I'm going to ask the 2 academic advisors you just met to share more information with our families about academic advising at North Central. You'll also get to hear from our 3 featured first-gen students who will share how they proactively and strategically partner with their academic advisor. We hope learning about their approach will inspire and inform your students to do the same. Families, as a reminder, you may ask any questions in the comment section or private message Cardinal First. And now I'll turn it over to Alice Desheen, Senior Academic Advisor.
Thank you, Davin. So I want to start by just walking through a little bit of what academic advisors actually do. So if you give me a second, I will share screen. So academic advising is basically a partnership between the student and the advisor. We're professionally trained and we understand college policy, campus resources. Basically, our main goal is academic planning with your student to make sure that they stay on track when possible. We provide student support where we can. We definitely refer your students to other offices on campus, whether it is tutoring or counseling or academic support, testing services, career counseling. And we work with students under the guidelines of FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. It's a little bit different at the college level because we basically are treating your student as the adult. It is an adult to adult relationship that the student and the advisor have. So what is it that we actually do? The tools of advising are essentially the catalog and Merlin, which is the registration and academic information system that we have. So let's start by looking at Merlin. So if a student were to log into Merlin, they would look at this screen. This is the student menu screen. And all the information that students need to track their individual progress through their program is here. So financial information is here. How they can contact their academic advisor is here under communication. In their academic profile, they can find their unofficial transcripts and they can find their program evaluation that walks them through, as Stephanie will show you later, that walks them through everything they need to do to get to graduation. So this is a really important tool that advisors use. But the more important tool for us and how we get all the information that we have is actually by using the catalog. So this is information that you can access from home by going to catalog, catalog.noctrl.edu. Type that in, this comes up. This is a living document that is added to every single year and edited every year as requirements change. And what you would want to know for as a family member is what are all of the requirements and the rules and policies that your student has while going through their program. So if you were to click, for example, on undergraduate academic calendar, this will show you the calendar for the year and when do classes start, when do classes end, when are final exams. If you want to know more information about a semester, click on that semester, and now you get the expanded calendar, which shows you all of the deadlines, when certain applications are due, when is the first day to drop, when is the last day to drop, when is the last day to add courses, when do classes end, when are final exams. All of that information is here in the calendar section, and this is updated annually. Also, very useful for parents is just to know what in the world are your students doing. So if you were to click on majors, minors, and programs of study, these are all of the programs that North Central College offers. So if you wanted to find out what, one of the people said they were environmental studies. So what is an environmental studies major? What are all of the requirements for it? If you click on that, now you can see the full list of all of the classes that students have to complete in order to graduate. And then to get more information, if you actually click on the class title, you find out what the class is about, other classes they have to take first, any other information that's relevant. It's all here in the catalog. This is current, this is updated every year. So it's a really good resource for you as a parent. Another thing that you could look at would be academic regulations. These are the rules and requirements that apply to your students. So what does it mean when you're talking about grades and grade point averages? What are all of the graduation and degree requirements that your student will be expected to fulfill? And what are specific ones depending on whatever degree they have? So this is very, very, very useful information. And this is basically how you get everything that you need to know all in one place. And the other thing that you really should take a look at some point would be general education, because that also is a requirement for graduation. And this catalog page walks you through all of the different requirements. So for a student who starts here, they partner with the advisors pretty much from the beginning, and they can see everything that they have to be doing. But if you are a transfer student, it's a little trickier, because what you actually see is very much condensed, right? And you have to fit all of this stuff in. So Jazz, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your transfer experience and partnering with your advisor.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Alice. So I am Josiah Vargas. I transferred to North Central fall of 2019 and will now be graduating the end of this year, fall of 2021. I am now double majoring in marketing and management, thanks to my advisor. She did help me with that. But throughout my semester, throughout the time that I've been in North Central, I regularly talk to my advisor about class selections, my job interests, life goals, and personal life. My advisor has always made sure that she provides me the information that I need, and that I can understand that I understand what I should keep in mind related to my academic life and personal life goals. My advisor also got to know me as a person throughout the time being at North Central. She understood my style of organization, my style of learning. So families, I do encourage your students to proactively partner with their advisor, because I did, and she made my transition to North Central so easy and made me feel like I was welcomed there, that I was needed at North Central.
Thank you, Jazz.
Thank you.
So I want to turn this over now to Stephanie Zobek, Associate Director of Advising.
I will share my screen as well, just like Alice did. So let me pull this up really quickly, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about how advising works with students throughout the year, and also elaborate a little bit more on some of the resources that Alice gave. So one of the primary points during the year that an advisor and student will work together is actually during the spring, during our advising and registration process, which is coming right up. So for all current students who are planning on registering for next academic year, fall 2021 or spring 2022, in March and April, we've got a lot going on in the advising world. So in February, happening right now, or even early March, these are things that your student can be doing right now. Students should be reviewing their requirements for their major. So like Alice showed in the catalog, I will also show their program evaluation, which students can locate in Merlin. I'll show you where they can find that as well. Students can log in and on their program evaluation confirm that it lists the correct majors and minors. If a student is interested in exploring different majors, if they're undecided and not sure what major they would really like to explore, or they're listed as one major but thinking of another, have them contact their academic advisor. We're happy to have those conversations and help make some recommendations for next year to help students explore or pursue a new major if they're thinking about moving in a different direction. Also in Merlin, you can check holds and restrictions. Students are not able to register for classes if they have a hold on their account. That might be sending a transcript from dual credit college that you took over the summer. That might be signing a note with the business office or needing to return a book to the library. There's a lot of different reasons that you might have a hold on your account. So we want to make sure that those are taken care of. And I'll show you where to take a look at that in just a minute. In March, then, the academic schedule for next year will post, and students will start to review what classes are being offered. Using some of the resources that Alice and I talk about today, the catalog in their program evaluation, students will then begin building their fall and spring schedule for next year. So they'll register for both semesters, that's important. And what they'll do is they'll build a tentative schedule, and they'll send a screenshot of that to their academic advisor to have it reviewed. Their advisor might provide some feedback. Maybe you're missing a class that's very important for your junior year in a particular major. Maybe you don't meet the prerequisite, so you haven't taken the class required prior to the class that you're wanting to take, or there's conflicting times. Advisors will provide feedback and suggestions, and then we'll approve the schedule. And what that does is it allows the student to move forward in the registration process. And in April, the student will go ahead and register for fall and spring. So that's kind of the timeline for our spring advising and registration. Some tips for registration, since this is coming up in April 2021, we do encourage students to register for both semesters at one time. Unless you're only going to be here for fall, you're graduating at the end of fall, perhaps you're thinking about studying abroad in the spring. Otherwise, you can register for both fall and spring. That's a little bit different for our first year students. First years register for fall, meet with an academic advisor, and then register for spring. But if you're continuing into your sophomore, junior, or senior year, you get to register for both semesters. It's also important that students know when their individual registration day and time is. Each student gets a registration day and time based on the number of credit hours that they've earned. This allows our seniors to have priority because they have very specific classes that they need, then our juniors, and then our sophomores. The registrar's office, they oversee all of the curriculum and kind of the course registration process. They'll send an email in the next week or two. So it's very important that your student is checking their North Central College email for anything coming from the registrar's office or from their academic advisor. They'll also be able to find their registration day and time in Merlin under View Registration Day and Time. They'll want to register as close to that day and time as possible. So say your registration day and time is April 4th at 1 p.m. and you're in class on April 4th until 2. You want to go ahead and register maybe at 2:05 after class. You take your laptop out, you go to the campus computer lab, you pull your phone out, and you can go ahead and register for classes that way. To be full-time, you'll want to register for somewhere between 12 and 18 credit hours. You can talk to your academic advisor about how many credits you need to stay on track. One thing to note, though, is if you're a MAP grant recipient, you do need to make sure you're in at least 15 credits. So most often our MAP grant recipients will be in 16 credits per semester at least. When we're not doing spring registration, advisors are available year-round, so we all work on 12-month contracts. And we're available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Email is always the easiest way to get a hold of your academic advisor. That allows us to respond if we're around campus, if we're in between meetings. It also allows us to gather information and send links and resources to you as well. So we're available most easily by email or appointment. If you're not traveling to campus at the moment, we're doing virtual appointments as well on Microsoft Teams. So we have lots of options, and you can ask us anything. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We've heard it all. Anything that you're wondering, if you want additional clarification, if something we say doesn't make sense, feel free to ask us to try to explain it in a different way, or we can pull up some resources to show you as well. But students will ask about course change, course schedule changes, majors and minors, internships, summer courses, or things that aren't academic related. So sometimes we'll get questions about residence life, about commuting, about ITS, our information technology, about parking permits. And we can either typically help answer those questions or find the information on the website or connect you to the person on campus that can help answer that. So that's just a little bit about how you might work with your academic advisor kind of year round. If you're wanting to come to an appointment then, say that you've scheduled something with us either during the spring or summer or fall, we do have a few tips and tricks for that as well. We ask that you arrive early. So if it's an in-person appointment or virtual, maybe you're about 5 minutes early, you log on and make sure that you're ready. In the spring, we have back-to-back appointments as students get ready to register. So for you to be able to have that full, say it's a 20-minute time slot, we need that full 20 minutes to talk. If you're early, that allows us to have that full 20-minute conversation that we need. Bring questions so you can write them down, or you can email those to your advisor ahead of time. That allows us to kind of prep for the appointment, maybe find some resources to discover, but bring whatever questions that you have. Again, ask us anything. There's no such thing as a bad question. Anything that you're wondering, we're here and happy to help answer. And if you can, you'll want to review your degree requirements prior to the appointment. And that gives us kind of a baseline for our conversation. So you could use the catalog, which Alice did a wonderful job walking us through earlier, or our program evaluation, which is in your student planning system, which is what I'm about to show you. So every student, if you log into Merlin, has access to program evaluation. So that's at the top right here. If you click on that, it brings up all of your degree requirements based on any major or minor that you have listed. Underneath that, the second arrow on the screen is pointing to holds and restrictions. Like I talked about earlier, you want to click there to make sure that you have no holds on your account so that you're able to register. So two very important parts in terms of advising and registration. But we're going to assume we click program evaluation. And on our program evaluation, then there's a program summary box. So this is pretty important for us. And what we want to make sure that we're doing on this particular box here is paying attention to our required credit hours. Every student has a certain number of required hours. The student needs to earn 128 hours. And all students need to earn a 2.0 GPA in their cumulative GPA, major and minor. This particular student has earned 48 credit hours at North Central. We can see it says institutional credits is 48. And overall, they've earned 62 credits. This means they've brought in additional credits, maybe through AP or dual credit, or perhaps from summer courses. And they currently have a 3.43, so we're above that 2.0 mark. Anticipated additional tells us how many credits a student's enrolled in. So this student is enrolled in 16 credits this semester. And that leaves this student, the anticipated remaining is 50 hours. So we need anticipated remaining to say 0 in order to graduate. Underneath the program summary box, it shows our general education requirements. And so we can see here that this particular student has a few general education classes. So all students need to do an art class, a humanities, a social science, and a science course. This student has not completed their art class. We can see that because it says 3 credits needed. So when they're putting together their schedule for next year, they might take an art class. They have, though, completed their humanities class. We can see this, it says philosophy of mind, and their grade is a B-. Underneath area designations, they also then have core courses. So this student's a psychology major. Every major has a different set of core courses, but this student has completed their first one, Psychology 100. They're currently registered for this one. It says 2021 spring. And this statistics course transferred in for us. So we can see that on the far right behind my screen, it says TR for transfer, and have not completed their developmental perspective. We can see this again because it says 1 course needed. So that's a course that the student might look for when they're coming up for their spring process. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off now to Val and to Carly. So let me see if we can unshare our screen. And we will have Val talk a little bit about how he is paired with me as his academic advisor.
Yeah, so I'm a junior here and I'm majoring in accounting, and Stephanie is my advisor, and I like to reach out to her a lot. I like to think we have a pretty good relationship. So if I have any questions or need anything answered, she's my go-to person here. So parents, I encourage your students to reach out to their advisors with any questions. I kind of had a rough patch, and I kind of talked to Stephanie a lot, and she made it very clear, and we were communicating pretty well about that. So we've been building that relationship, and she's very supportive and knowledgeable, and she really gets to know her advisees. So she also went to North Central. She's also first gen. She also played a sport, so she's been there. She knows what's going on. And then she also has these own files, like Excel files, along with the program eval. Yeah, and they're very helpful. She's going to download it. She's going to give it to you. And these things are incredible. Like, hey, X here means you're good. X here means you need to keep going. So this isn't like high school. I know that in high school, it's like, all right, here you go. This is what you got to do. And there's no kind of leeway. But I like what Alice said earlier. They said that this is a partnership. So I like to think that they're there to guide us in the right direction rather than telling us what we need to do. So they're definitely here to help you out rather than kind of step on your toes and tell you, hey, this is what you need to do in order to graduate. But so they're here to help you. So families and parents, please encourage your student to work closely with their advisor. For me, it has made all the difference for sure here at North Central.
I am Carly. I'm majoring in biology and environmental studies, and I've worked with my advisor since my first week at North Central. So I was taking a class where it wasn't working out too well for me. You know, I didn't need it to graduate. It wasn't a requirement. So I went to my advisor and said, is there a different class that I can take? This one's not really working well. And so she gave me a list of classes that fit in the schedule that would replace it. She taught me how to drop the class, and it actually got me a perfect class that was like amazing because it was really entailed in my interests, and it fit in my schedule really well. So that was my first year. And then actually this past winter break, I was doing some internship searching, trying to find some opportunities that I could do over the summer. And I emailed Stephanie because certain companies will require unofficial transcripts, and I needed one to apply to this company. And so I said, how do I access this? How can I send it to that company? And she told me exactly where to go, all the steps to do. So it worked out great. And yeah, I just encourage every student to work with their advisor because they make life so stress-free, and you can get a perfect schedule because of it.
Thanks, Carly. Thanks, Val. We're going to turn it back over to Devin, and I think the three of us can turn our cameras off. Perfect.
Thanks to the academic advisors for sharing very valuable information. And now I'm going to ask Clarissa LaFlora, Coordinator of Student Academic Support Services, to share some information about her work and student success resources at North Central.
Hello, everyone. As a testing coordinator, I oversee the day-to-day operations in the testing center. I schedule exams, secure space for the students, provide testing materials, and then also ensure that the students have a good and comfortable testing environment. I constantly am communicating with professors to make sure the students have the exam and quizzes needed for the test, making sure that the professors are adhering to the students' needs and helping them understand the testing protocols. I also work with Student Disability Services to help ensure the testing accommodations are met for each student. And I gain that knowledge for the accommodations through the SDS department. If your student did receive accommodations in high school of an IEP or a 504 plan, they should definitely reach out to the North Central's Office of Student Disability Services to learn about the accommodations if the student has learning disabilities. The director of that department is Mindy Diaz, and then the email is sds@noctrl.edu. North Central does have a lot of resources that are very beneficial to the students. One of those is tutoring, and I'm going to share my screen so I could bring that up. Okay. So this is found on the hub. The students will go to the hub to find this. It's a lot of different courses that tutoring is offered, and then with all different majors. This is would be very beneficial for the students to partake in. And then other resources that we have on campus as well are the Speaking Center, the Writing Center, and the Math Center. So I'm going to bring that page up. This is found on the North Central website. If your student needs help with the presentation that they have to give in class or want to improve their skills on public speaking, encourage the student to reach out to the Speaking Center. If the student needs help at any point in the process of a writing assignment, encourage them to reach out to the Writing Center. And then for math, if the student needs help with the math class, encourage them to reach out to the Math Resource Center. All of these, due to COVID, they are being held online, but with that first page I showed you, if you just click on the link or copy and paste the link, it takes you to a page where you're able to schedule an appointment and then get a tutor. If you forgot any of these details that I mentioned, the most important thing to remember is that many of the resources at North Central could help your student become successful. If they are struggling or want to be more academically successful, encourage your students to reach out to the academic advisor and ask about many of the student success resources that we have at North Central. And now I'll turn it back over to Devin. So Let me unshare my screen.
Thank you so much, Clarissa. I will now ask each of the three students to share one really quick sentence of advice for the family members on the call related to encouraging their students to partner with their academic advisor. And everyone in the call can turn their cameras on as well.
So I can start. Having that relationship with your advisor is very important. So that's why we all advise your students to have that relationship, not only for those resources, but also just to have that person on campus to rely on, just to have that person as a friend.
My opinion on it is, why make your life stressful? The advisors are there to help you. They want to help you. They want to talk to you. So just go ask them any questions and, live a stress-free life.
Yeah, I would say don't be shy. Go out there and reach out to them. Academic advisors are going to be your best tool here at North Central, so you might as well utilize them when you can.
Thank you so much, students. And we are actually out of time for today's event. So families and students can always direct their questions to Cardinal First at noctrl.edu or reach out to any of our staff guests this evening. Families, we hope this event has given you new information about academic advising at North Central. Our next Facebook Live event will be March 10th at 7 p.m. and will feature staff from North Central's Financial Aid Office sharing what you and your student need to know. We hope you'll join us for all 10 events in the Cardinal First Conversations series. Family members who join at least 5 of them or watch 5 recordings and take a brief quiz will earn a Cardinal First family t-shirt. The quiz will become available after the March 10th workshop. And thanks for joining us, and good night.
Good night.